Good evening, and welcome to this in-depth coverage of a historic moment in American national security. Tonight, we dive into the confirmation of Tulsi Gabbard as the United States Director of National Intelligence, a decision that has sparked extensive debate and garnered widespread attention both in Washington and across the nation. In a narrow 52-48 Senate vote, Gabbard's appointment marks a turning point in the leadership of the intelligence community. Over the next several minutes, we will break down the details of her confirmation, examine the expert opinions that have emerged from the process, and consider the public reaction and future implications of this decision. Stay with us as we explore what this appointment means for our nation's security and the future of intelligence oversight. The Senate's vote on Tulsi Gabbard's nomination to lead the intelligence community has been one of the most closely watched decisions in recent memory. The final tally of 52-48 highlights not only the division within the Senate, but also the intense scrutiny that accompanied every stage of the confirmation process. Support for Gabbard came largely from Republican senators, while a significant bloc of Democrats, along with notable opposition from Republican Senator Mitch McConnell, cast their votes against the nomination. Gabbard's background is as distinctive as her confirmation process. A former congresswoman and military veteran, she has long been known for her independent streak in politics. Her career has been marked by moments of both controversy and bold decision-making. Throughout her confirmation hearings, questions were raised about her past comments that many interpreted as sympathetic to regimes in Russia and Syria, as well as her defense of Edward Snowden, an act that, to some, symbolized a commitment to government transparency. Critics have argued that her previous statements and policy positions might indicate a potential bias or a soft approach toward adversarial nations. Yet, despite these concerns, her nomination secured considerable support from senators who believe her fresh perspective could reinvigorate an agency in need of reform. It is important to note that as Director of National Intelligence, Gabbard will have oversight over 18 intelligence agencies, including the CIA and FBI, and will be responsible for managing a budget that exceeds $100 billion. This role comes at a time when issues of transparency, politicization, and bureaucratic inefficiency have become central to public debate about the nation's security apparatus. Proponents of her nomination assert that her pledge to increase transparency, streamline personnel, and depoliticize intelligence could lead to much-needed reforms. In contrast, her critics remain concerned about the possible implications of her past remarks and how they might influence her decisions in such a powerful role. During the confirmation process, the discussions were charged with passionate exchanges and pointed critiques. Senators on both sides of the aisle expressed strong opinions. While some argued that her appointment signals a new era of accountability and openness, others warned that her unconventional views might compromise the impartiality expected of someone in this position. This dynamic has set the stage for a period of significant transformation within the intelligence community, one where tradition meets a demand for reform. As the news of Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation reverberates throughout political and security circles, experts from across the spectrum have weighed in on what this appointment might mean for national security and the future of intelligence operations. National security analysts have pointed out that her appointment is a clear signal that the administration is willing to break from the status quo. One expert remarked that her background, marked by a willingness to question established norms, could pave the way for greater scrutiny and a more transparent approach to intelligence work. Legal scholars and former intelligence officials have emphasized that the role of the Director of National Intelligence is not only to oversee operations but also to ensure that the intelligence community operates free of political interference. They suggest that Gabbard's commitment to ending the politicization of intelligence could help restore public trust in these agencies. However, they also caution that any perceived bias in her previous positions might pose challenges in unifying the various branches of the intelligence apparatus, particularly during periods of political tension. Furthermore, several retired military officers and think tank analysts have shared a nuanced perspective. They note that while her confirmation may be seen as a victory for reform-minded voices, the practical challenges ahead are immense. The task of managing an intelligence community that spans 18 agencies is not for the faint of heart. These experts stress that effective leadership will require not only a clear vision, but also the ability to navigate complex bureaucratic structures and entrenched interests. They have pointed out that success in this role will be measured by tangible improvements in efficiency, accountability, and the ability to adapt to evolving security threats. In addition to policy and operational matters, experts have also highlighted the significance of her confirmation vote itself. The narrow margin of 52 to 48 underscores the deep partisan divides that continue to shape U.S. politics. Analysts have argued that her appointment is emblematic of a broader trend where ideological battles within the Senate are increasingly influencing even the most critical national security decisions. Despite this, there is cautious optimism among many experts that her tenure could lead to innovative approaches in intelligence gathering, counterintelligence efforts, and interagency cooperation. The discussion has also extended to her stance on transparency and reform. Some experts have lauded her outspoken commitment to shedding light on intelligence processes, which they argue could help demystify the work done behind closed doors. In an era marked by rapid technological advancements and evolving security threats, the call for more accessible and accountable intelligence operations is louder than ever. Yet, there remains a palpable tension between the need for secrecy in national defense and the public's right to know, a balance that Gabbard will be expected to manage meticulously. Public reaction to Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation has been as varied as the opinions expressed in Washington. Across social media platforms, heated discussions have emerged, with some citizens celebrating the appointment as a bold step toward reform, while others express deep concerns over her past statements and perceived policy leanings. A number of citizens on online forums and community groups have voiced hope that this change in leadership will herald a new era of transparency and accountability within the intelligence community. For supporters of Gabbard, her confirmation is seen as a refreshing departure from the traditional, often opaque practices of the past. Many applaud her military background and her willingness to challenge conventional thinking, a trait they believe is essential in today's rapidly changing security landscape. These supporters argue that her reformist agenda, particularly her commitment to reducing politicization in intelligence work, could lead to more effective and impartial national security policies. They point to her promise to streamline operations and cut unnecessary bureaucracy as a potential game changer for an agency that has long been criticized for inefficiency. Conversely, critics of the appointment have been quick to highlight her controversial stances. Many remain wary of her previous comments regarding Russia and Syria, fearing that these positions might influence her decision-making in a role that requires absolute impartiality. Some commentators have noted that her past defense of figures like Edward Snowden raises questions about her approach to classified information and national security. In online debates, there is a recurring theme of skepticism regarding whether her personal views could undermine the integrity of the intelligence community. Moreover, public sentiment appears to be heavily influenced by partisan lines. While a segment of the electorate sees her appointment as a step toward much-needed reform and increased transparency, others interpret it as a politicized move that could potentially erode the nonpartisan foundations of American intelligence. Across various platforms, users have shared opinions ranging from cautious optimism to outright concern about the long-term implications of this appointment. The discourse is further complicated by the fact that many voters are still processing the broader implications of such a narrowly decided confirmation. This split in public opinion underscores a larger conversation about trust and accountability in government institutions. As debates continue online, and in community forums, it is clear that Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation has become a focal point for discussions on how intelligence should be managed in an era marked by both rapid technological change and deep-seated political polarization. Whether viewed as a transformative appointment or a risky gamble, it is undeniable that this decision will have lasting effects on public perceptions of national security. Looking ahead, the appointment of Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence could mark the beginning of a new chapter for America's intelligence community. With oversight of 18 agencies and a responsibility to manage a vast budget, the challenges she faces are formidable. One of the most significant implications of her confirmation is the potential for a sweeping reform of how intelligence is gathered, analyzed, and shared with policymakers. Gabbard's stated agenda, emphasizing transparency, accountability, and the reduction of bureaucratic excess, resonates with a growing call from various stakeholders for change. If she is successful in her mission, we could see a future where intelligence operations become more agile and better equipped to address modern security threats, ranging from cyber warfare to emerging geopolitical tensions. Experts have suggested that a reformed intelligence community might not only improve operational efficiency, but also restore public trust in agencies that have long been criticized for secrecy and political maneuvering. Furthermore, her leadership style is expected to influence the internal dynamics of the intelligence apparatus. By advocating for a depoliticized approach, Gabbard could foster a culture that prioritizes evidence-based analysis over partisan considerations. This shift might also lead to enhanced collaboration among different agencies, as well as between the intelligence community and other branches of government. In turn, such collaboration could result in more cohesive strategies to counter threats, whether they come from state actors, non-state actors, or emerging technological vulnerabilities. Another area where her impact could be significant is in the realm of budget management and resource allocation. With over $100 billion at her disposal, decisions made under her leadership will likely affect not only operational capabilities, but also the broader strategic priorities of the nation. A reallocation of resources towards modern intelligence tools and technologies could prove instrumental in countering new-age security challenges. At the same time, efforts to cut excess personnel and streamline operations may lead to short-term disruptions as the existing system adjusts to new methodologies and oversight mechanisms. On the international front, Gabbard's appointment sends a strong message about the United States' willingness to innovate within the traditionally rigid sphere of national security. Allies and adversaries alike will be watching closely to see if her approach brings about a more transparent and efficient intelligence framework, or if it generates further uncertainties on the global stage. In either case, her leadership is expected to contribute to shaping future intelligence policies and strategies, not only domestically, but also in coordination with international partners. As the nation navigates this new phase, the balance between maintaining necessary secrecy and ensuring governmental accountability remains a central challenge. The path ahead will require careful calibration of reforms to avoid unintended consequences, while reinforcing the principles of democratic oversight and transparency. In the coming months, policy adjustments and administrative shifts under her tenure will be closely scrutinized by both political observers and the public alike, as the true impact of her leadership begins to unfold. In conclusion, the confirmation of Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence is more than just a routine appointment. It is a landmark moment that could redefine the contours of American intelligence. From a contentious Senate vote to intense debates over her past positions and future plans, this decision encapsulates the complex interplay between reform, politics, and national security in our modern era. As she takes the helm, all eyes will be on how effectively she can steer the intelligence community towards a future characterized by greater transparency, accountability, and operational efficiency. We invite you to join the conversation. What do you think about this transformative appointment? Will Gabbard's leadership bring about the necessary reforms, or do her past controversies cast a long shadow over her new role? Your insights and opinions are valuable, and we encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for staying with us through this comprehensive breakdown. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth coverage of major national security developments. Your engagement helps foster a community where informed discussion and rigorous analysis thrive. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and good night.